Now, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. So let me explain. First off, it's free. I'm not joking, you guys. The Anchor app, it is free to use. Second, there's creation tools that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Now that's awesome, isn't it? Third, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere, you guys, on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and so many more platforms. Fourth, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Now, is that awesome, you guys, or what? That's just terrific. And finally, it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So I have another podcast with Anchor, and I'm just loving Anchor so much. I love it. It's so very easy to use, guys. So why don't you download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. What's up, you guys? And welcome to the official podcast of Damian Talks Education. So listen up. I am here to talk about all things education on my podcast. So get prepared for some realness and honesty of education as I walk you down through various of topics that's happening in the education world with some amazing guests, to sharing stories relating to education and so much more, because I got you covered with education. So join me on this journey of education with me. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Damian Talks Education.
And let's spread about education.
Now, today is a very special day over here, you guys, because I've been telling you guys since season 4 that we are here, the crossover event episode of my show and my good friend Andrew's show as well. So we made it here. Our shows are together, you guys. So how are you doing on today, Andrew? Because you haven't been on in quite a while. So how are you doing? You got a new look, as I should say, because you are wearing glasses. So how are you doing?
Yes, I did get new glasses. Starting now, actually. Had these for a while now. Had these for a while. Busy for a while. Not much as recording wise, more as a working wise. I've been working. Now I'm going to be even busier now, taking college classes. My first day's class was actually 3 days ago. So going to hit the road running.
Yes. So we hope all of you guys, my DTE fam out there, are having a great day so far. And are doing well, you know, taking care of yourself, you know, doing things that you need to do, and are just, you know, having a great Friday when my show comes out, you guys, which you guys know Friday. So happy Friday to all of you guys. And yeah.
And if you're watching this for my LFEE people, you know, our episode comes out every Wednesday, but because this is a special episode, this will come out on Monday.
Yes. So let's hop right in, you guys, to our crossover event episode. First, we're going to let Andrew do his, and then we're going to do mine, and we're going to sum it all up together at the end. So you guys just relax, okay? Sit back, relax, get your snacks out, you know, your blanket, because this just relax yourself, okay? You guys just relax yourself. All right. Welcome back, you guys, to the DTE and LFE crossover event episode. So let's hop right back into it, you guys, with me. So, my people, you know what's up. Take notes, and, please really listen because up first, I have, sadly, you guys, for our first topic, a heartbreaking story to share with you all if you have not, been in the know of this, which is um, a Texas high school student who is facing charges for a school shooting. Now, I was going to provide you guys some of the footage, some of the images from it, but I decided not to. So, a school shooting that could have probably been prevented, you guys, from happening. A Texas high school student allegedly, you guys, opened fire on several people, injuring three. So, 18-year-old boy faces charges while the victims recover from their injuries, and one spokesperson for his family says that there's no justification for his actions at the moment, but says that the boy was just protecting himself from being repeatedly bullied. Now, we all know, you guys, that there's no excuse for this of happening, right? There's no excuse, but of what, he allegedly did, you guys. But this does raise the question to this, like, why is bullying? Why is it something that we cannot stop from happening? Why does it keep on happening every time that we see it? Why is this a occurring thing? It's repeatedly happen. And Andrew, I want to ask you this. Why is this always happening into our own schools? What are we doing wrong for our students that keeps on doing this? And it's probably some of the cases, maybe, someone that has never attended that school. Why does this keep on happening in your eye?
I will say this. Keep in mind though that some of this. Keep in mind that last year, all the students were virtual.
Right.
Keep in mind, all
Yeah,
the students were a year ago. So last year, and now they're coming back into face to face. Now there are some schools that are still doing virtual, but for mostly all the schools are now face to face, and now they're trying to adapt into that face to face environment. I think that is why you see so many school shootings right now, because students are coming back to face to face. Now, do we have any school students last year when all the students were virtual? No, but they have all of this. What's the word I'm looking for? They had all this problem built inside of them, like inside, and they just want to release it. But again, this goes back to what I said earlier of those two topics of we need to talk it out. We need to talk it out. They need to go either a guidance counselor, or we need to set up a meeting to figure out why you do this, why, the biggest question is why, like why? And, like it said, it could have been prevented. It could have been prevented. Open fire on several people and injuring three. I mean, saying that he's protecting himself from being bullied, I mean, that was unnecessary. Let me just say, it was just unnecessary, because he could have talked to somebody about it. He could have talked to the principal about it. He could have talked to somebody. Again, that could have been prevented. And the fact that you brought a gun to school is also unnecessary as well. Because I mean, there was no need for that. Again, like everybody said, this could have been prevented, really. And I agree. He could have faced. He should face some charges for that. I mean, that was really unnecessary. I mean, again, no excuse, really. I just don't understand why. Number one, I don't understand why he brought a gun to school. I don't understand why he didn't talk to somebody about it. I don't understand why would you open fire on several of your peers and injuring three. So on top of that, you're facing charges. Also, you're going to jail, and that would jeopardize your college career. See,
Yeah,
he didn't think of all these consequences before he opened fire.
right. And like, it says, allegedly, you guys, that he was being bullied. But still, I just want to, read this very quickly of what I posted onto my show last season, that I put: students, listen up. If you ever feel like you can't open up about a certain topic into your own schools, like depression, suicide, the LGBTQ plus community, and the list goes on and on, just know that I, Damian Anderson, I am here for all of you. Damian Talks Education is an open space to where all guests can come on and talk about anything that they feel comfortable discussing. So let's have the conversation together. This is what my show is it's been about since from day one. I don't care who you are: Black, white, Hispanic, Latino, a police officer. I don't care, a criminal, a jail criminal. I don't care, you guys. If something is, especially to our students, because that's what I'm trying to get onto my shows, some students to come on and talk about what has been, because this has been 2020, you guys, has been a year that we never saw coming. We thought, it was going to be the great year for all of us. We were entering, into something new. Unfortunately, it's not because of the pandemic, but still, there is something, you guys, in my eye, that we are not doing correctly into our schools. Because if we were doing everything that we are doing so correctly, this will not happen. School shootings and lots of other things will not happen into our schools. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That is why, lately onto my show, I've been talking about mental health, because we need to have that into our schools, you guys. We got to have that into our schools, because our students, I'm sorry, sometimes, they don't feel safe, being at home, depending on, the situation that is going on with them. And they
Right.
come to school, some of the students, they feel that if I go to school, this is my happy place. This is where I'm going to be protected. Unfortunately, for some students, it's just not. It's just not, because there's something wrong, you guys. There is something wrong into our schools, and that's why we got to have, mental health experts into our schools. Because if you guys, teachers, principals, if you guys are not willing to have that talk with your students, then how in the world do you want them, to go out into the real world, you guys, and be a better citizen for you guys? How is that possible? You want the best for your students, but you don't want to have these types of topics talk into your schools.
Right.
And like I said, if I went to a school that does not allow me to talk about my situation or my other peer situation, either from depression, suicide, whatever the case is, I'm going to find a school that fits best for me, to where they allow students' voice to be heard. And sadly, some of our schools, they don't. They don't. So I don't know.
And I just had a talk, which is kind of funny, because I just talked to one of the co-hosts of the educators, Coach Darnell, and I said to him, I said, I'm thinking about creating a LGBTQIA plus club, and have have a club where all of those people can come into a classroom and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the safe space, kind of like as a safe space classroom, because there are some students out there that uses other pronouns. So like I have students come up to me and say, hey, I prefer this pronoun than the other. And that really got to me thinking, like, we need to have a safe space in the school. So most likely, probably either tomorrow or Monday, I'm going to email the principal and see if I can create that club and have that safe space for those students, because I think it's really important to have those, again, to have that safe space conversations and talk it out. And those are the ones that are interested in joining, but the only thing is that there's, again, no bullying. Okay.
Yeah.
Because this is a safe space classroom. I don't like bullying each other. We don't use profanity. We are here to encourage.
Mm-hmm.
We are here to uplift students.
Yeah.
Not to bring them down, feel terrible. We're here to uplift them. Okay. So
Yes, and you guys, this right here, this topic, and then the next topic I will discuss. These are some important topics, conversation that you guys we just have to have, especially with our students. Start early, especially in elementary. You guys, please start early for those students. So, coming up, you guys. This happened where Andrew is located. A North Carolina school board approves of a policy, get this, you guys, to limit history and race topics into our schools. So we're going to dive into that right after this. This is the DTE LFE crossover event. We'll be right back.
all right, welcome back to the DTE and LFE crossover. Damian has one more topic to talk about that happened in my neck of the woods. So, Damian, what's going on in my state? What's going on?
Well, yes. Now, according to an article on the dailymail.com, you guys, the Johnson County School Board in North Carolina unanimously approved a new policy of limiting how certain topics about history and race can be taught into our own schools. So the All Republican Board of Commissioners said that they would continue to withhold the funds until a policy was established to eliminate the possibility of critical race theory. You guys, everyone's, starting to talk about that all of a sudden, of the teachings, and to any other potentially diverse teaching topics. So over the summer of this year, a group of parents took to the streets to protest the theory and issues support for policy restricting into our own schools. So here's the question. Should the real U.S. history be withheld from our students, or is this a form of protection? And before I let you hop right into Andrew, I just wanted to point this out because I just literally found this out yesterday into my neck of the woods, Tennessee, that Tennessee law makes it illegal to teach Black history in K through 12. Okay. So, Andrew, thoughts?
Listen, because Actually, I can't disclose that because I'm studying history for the past, I don't know how many weeks now. We haven't really gotten into U.S. history yet. So we're still at the, where we at? We're at Explorer, so we're not really there yet. But, okay, listen. If it happened, it happened. Okay. Like if the Civil War happened, it happened. Okay. Let's be real.
Yeah.
It happened, right? Um, American Revolution. It happened, right? So let's talk about it. The Reconstruction. It happened, right? So let's talk about it. The Cold War. Let's talk about it. The recession in 2008. Let's talk about it. So if it happened in U.S. history, it happened. So let us, well, let teachers, okay, talk about it. Let teachers, talk the lesson, because again, the students don't know. The students don't know what happened,
True.
and they learning the material. Again, was George Washington the first president of the United States? Yes, because it happened, right? That happened after the American Revolution, right? That's when the Americans was like, hey, we're not in control of the British anymore. Because that's what happened, right? So let's let teachers talk about it. Okay. Is this a form of protection? Protection of what? I need to know. Protection of what? Protection of what? Because I don't know what was protection. And hold on, get this. I'm learning some more information about this as well. If all school system employees hold position of public trust, they are responsible for the education of students and also serve as examples and role models to students. Each employee is responsible for both the integrity and the consequences of his or her own actions. The highest standards of honesty, integrity, and fairness must be exhibited by each employee when engaging in any activity concerning the school system, particularly in relationship with vendors, suppliers, students, parents, the public, and other employees. The employee should be such as to protect the person's integrity and / or reputation, that of the school system. Shall perform their blah blah blah. Okay. Employees should notify the head of human resources or his / her designee immediately if they are charged with nope, that's not what I'm looking for. So students should be exposed to social responsibility, the ethical authority that students are encouraged to fulfill their civic duty, and their actions should benefit society as a whole, creating a balance between growth and welfare of society. Social responsibility encourages everyone to contribute and work together for the benefit of society. Social responsibility shall be taught in conjunction in discussion of political concepts. Also, regarding political and social issues should be conducted with empathy and kindness. No person should be judged subject to stereotypes regardless of negative or positive, or marginalized based on race, gender, religion, preference, ethnicity, immigration status, socioeconomic standing, ability, or any other identity group. No person should be limited by the assumptions of race, gender, religion, creed, ethnicity, preference, immigration status, or identity group regarding the individual behavior and future success. I did see on here Johnson County school employees shall not encourage or promote any specific ideology and legislation or candidate for any elective office when performing official duties. They will make efforts to formally train staff on the danger and the impact of cycle of poverty and lack of resources of children who are born into a family whose household income is a low poverty level. Failure, listen to this very, very carefully. Failure to comply with this policy will result in disciplinary action up to and including dismissal.
Hmm. Well, 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 well. Yeah.
I still don't know what protection. I'm kind of iffy on that policy. Kind of iffy. But I mean, if it happens in U.S. history, I mean, it happened. I mean, Damian,
Okay. Okay, you guys, just let me just tell you guys this right here. I know that I'm, a future math teacher, but I still
future math / history teacher, because apparently I've been subbing history for the past couple of weeks, so I don't know what's going on. But anyway, continue.
Right, yes. And here's what I posted on yesterday as of October 15. I am very disappointed by the state of Tennessee of where I'm in. Also with Andrew, North Carolina. Well, and then I put, well, it looks like I would get fired on my first day of teaching, but at least I stood up for my principles of teaching my students the importance of why our history is important and it matters. So you guys, I don't care. You guys can fire me. You can do whatever to me. I still am going to teach my student because I know by the time I become a teacher, this still will still be a big issue more than ever. I will still teach my students that our history, Black history, is important because our Black students, they need to know that you guys, I just don't understand what has been going on into our schools lately. You guys are not teaching our students, especially our Black students. You guys are not. They need to know that our history is important. They need to know that. And so be it. If I get fired, kicked out, at least I did my job as of what an educator is supposed to do. At least I did my job. So I know many teachers are probably angry at me right now. Well, so be it. Just be about it. Okay.
Makes it illegal to teach Black history in K through 12. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, interesting, right? Yeah,
interesting.
So
interesting.
I know, and I literally just found this out yesterday, you guys.
Hold on, let me say something about this.
Yeah.
Makes it illegal to teach Black history. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did we hold on? So we're not. So the Greensboro Five didn't exist. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't exist.
Unbelievable.
Rosa Parks doesn't exist. Malcolm X doesn't exist. That's what you tell me. Oh, okay. Because those people were iconic back then.
Exactly.
Right. So you got Rosa Parks, refused to give up a seat Right. You have MLK Jr.,
Yep.
a civil rights activist, as well as Malcolm X. So you're telling me those people don't exist? You're telling me the Greensboro Five walked into a diner, sat down, and the waiter refused to give them service because they sat down at the counter? You telling me those people don't exist? But now you want to make it illegal to teach Black history in K through 12? So you're basically saying, oh, those people don't exist. So we're not as important. So you're telling, hold on. So you're telling me the Black slaves that joined the war in the Civil War? You're telling me that Black people joined George Washington's troops during the American Revolution to fight for their country? You're telling me the where Abraham Lincoln signed the Application for Proclamation back in 1865? You're telling me that Juneteenth is not a thing? So you're telling me out of those people, out of those events that I just named, don't exist? But it's part of history, right? It's part of history because it happened, right? It happened because look at we now. Because we fight for our freedom, right? We fight for our freedom. We have been through so much. And now you want to make it illegal to teach Black history in K through 12? Really? Well, looks like I'm not coming to Tennessee to teach, because let me tell you something. I will be teaching Black history because it happened. It happened. That's like, oh, we don't care. Oh, really? Our ancestors did. They care. They lived through it. They've been through it. They know what it's like. It's ridiculous. Not ridiculous, it's ridiculous.
And I'm getting choked up right now because I put, and I am very disappointed and disgusted by my so-called governor of this.
Well, it looks like y'all need a new governor.
This.
Because that right there is unacceptable.
See, you guys, that is why it is so important for all of you guys to go out and vote for the right people to be put into these kinds of positions. That is why you guys need to get educated, learn up on some of these stuffs, so we can have the right people in these positions here, the right kind of people. Because this right here is just, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Because if right now, to this day, if I was a real teacher, if I was a teacher to this day here, I know for a fact that somebody will come into my classroom and handcuff me because I am teaching what I'm supposed to be teaching, especially to our Black students, because they need to know about this, you guys. It's just, I can't believe this. I'm just frustrated. I'm angry. The state of Tennessee, really. I it's just so. That's it right there, you guys.
Looks like you're not going. Looks like you're not. You're probably going to go to a different state to teach. Looks like.
This makes
no sense.
Mm-mm. Like, you can't do that. You cannot do that. Why would you do that in the first place? What is behind it? Well, before we go to break, it looks like that Damian Anderson will have to write out to the state of Tennessee governor and to also take it up to the White House. Because this right here.
Oh, you trying to Wendy Romy? Oh!
So you guys, we're going to take a break. And we're going to be right back right after this. You guys, you're watching the DTE and LFE across the freeway.
Welcome back to the DTE and LFE crossover event. Of course, we have talked about our two topics from Let's Write About Education and two from Damian Talks Education. Of course, this will be the What Do We Learn segment. Of course, if you're from my show, you already know what the deal is, but those of you that are from Damian Talks Education, every episode, towards the end of the episode, I give a little summary of the two topics that either every topic or every two topics that I've been talking about, kind of basically summarize, put it in my own words. So here we go. And of course, this will also be, I will make a post about it on the Instagram page at Fred About EDU and on Twitter as well on Fred About EDU on Twitter. So first things first, Texas high school students faces charges for school shooting. Overall, he's going to get charged anyway. He's going to get charged. He's going to get, I want to say expelled. Most than likely, his future is in question because he brought a gun to school, because he opened fire on several people, injuring 3. Again, he could have talked to somebody. He could have talked to the principal. He could have talked to teachers that he trusted. He could have talked to the guidance counselor. Like, there are so many options that he could have done before he opened fire. And on top of that, he's going to bring a gun to school anyway. So before you do all those things, talk to somebody. Have that safe space in your classroom.
Right, and exactly. And let me just add my 2 cents in. It says that he was, allegedly being bullied. Now, what I heard from, I looked this up, that, he tried to talk, with his teachers about this, but they just ignore him from, this student from being bullied. So this kind of may be the case of why he did it, because nobody would not listen to that student because he was being bullied. He tried to talk to as many teachers as he can, and also going up to the office with the principal. They just ignore it. So that might be the case why he did it. But I'm not giving him there's no excuse for what he did, because this was wrong.
Right.
But
Right.
you guys, we got to listen to our students. Okay, if we see something wrong with them, like let's say one day we see them, they're perfectly fine, and then the next
No
day,
one was protecting me.
something
I
is
am very
with them.
important,
We
and I am not being
gotta pay
protected.
attention to those patterns, you guys. We got to look out for our students and see, check up. Are they okay? Okay, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And North Carolina School Board approves policy to limit history and race topics in schools. Also, Tennessee decides to ban Black history to teach Black history in K through 12. Listen, let me start with Tennessee first, because I'm upset with them. If it happened in the past, it happened in the past. Let's talk about it, right? If it happened, right? So why are you limiting that? Why are you removing Black history? Because it happened. So those public figures that happened back in the day didn't happen. If it didn't happen, who knows what will happen right now? Things will be so different right now if it didn't happen.
True, Mary. Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah. And back in my home state.
Someone get over here.
Okay, listen. Y'all know better. Okay. To approve the policy to limit history and race topics in schools. Really? Come on. Why? Okay. If it again, if it happened, it happened. So why are you limited those facts? Why? Because you're scared that your students may, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for, but again, if it happened, it happened. It's real. It happened.
How are you able to?
So by you limiting history and race topics in schools, we're not moving forward. We're moving backwards.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to have those resources. It's important to have teachers to have those resources to talk about race topics in the schools.
Some of them are just, not doing their job correctly. They're too lazy. Let me just say it. Sorry. No, actually, I'm not sorry, because you guys, I'm not diving into that. No. Mm-mm.
So, for real. And you wondering why you have protests out going on to protest the theory and support for the policy. Why is history being withheld from my students? Why is that? You just don't want them to know the real history?
That's what it is.
So the woman suffrage didn't happen, right? So that's what basically y'all telling me. Or the Greensboro 5 didn't happen, right? Or Rosa Parks didn't happen, right? Or MLK didn't happen, right? So the American Revolution didn't happen, right? Or the Civil War didn't happen, right? Because all of those are history. All of those are facts that students need to be learned, because they don't know what happened. We don't know what happened. See, me and Damian, we already went through high school. We already took American history. We already took civics. We already know what happened. Okay. by you limiting history from our students is ridiculous because they won't know what actually happened in the past.
They will never know because
They-
you guys didn't.
Y'all want to
talk
limit
about it.
history, but how would they learn? How would they learn?
Got your Facebook up? Gosh, how bad can it get?
So that's the What Do We Learn segment
Yeah.
for both Damian Talks Education and Let's About
I had
Education.
no protection.
So, you guys, unfortunately, this is the end of our crossover event. What a great time we had. This was great. We should do another of this. So yeah, I really, you guys, seriously, I just really hope, to whoever's watching this or listening to this, that, you take something out of this, of what we said, and, just go out into the world and,
Got it.
make this happen. Please make this happen. Have these types of conversations, you guys, to our schools, with your coworkers, your colleagues, okay? Because these are some important topics to talk about, okay? We're doing good, you guys, okay? We are doing good. Just, we just want to, I want to do this on my behalf, and then Andrew, he can. But you guys, I just want to thank you all, seriously, and especially Andrew's people as well, because you guys just support me. I am seeing all the message that you guys send me, to every guest that came onto my show. I just want to thank you guys, because you keep the show going by tuning in and, enjoying of what I have to say every week, and depending on who I am bringing on. So I just want to thank you guys, seriously, my DTE out there. Just thank you guys.
And for my people, thank y'all so much for tuning in every Wednesday, even though I've been on hiatus for the past couple of months. I've been busy, so I truly appreciate it. I am trying to have, I know I haven't had guests on the show. Damian's the only guest so far, but I'm trying to put in some more guests onto my show so that I won't pick as Damian as my guest, but I'm gonna try to get some more guests for my farewell season. So I may have to bring in Coach for my show for my farewell season. So
yes. And until next time, you guys, please take care of yourself. Be blessed. Enjoy your Friday if you're watching this on Friday. If not, just enjoy whatever day you are watching this. And I'll see you guys next year in 2022 for new episodes of Damian Talks Education. So peace out.